What the fuck is up, nerds? Oh, it's all good. Listen, I should have come early to figure out how to do this, but I didn't. But I'm gonna. We got it. Consummate professionalism, things that you can expect from grown-up storytime. Give the fuck up for Houston, though, you know? I'm gonna plug my shit real quick while I get ready. I'm in a band. My name is Rahul Rao. I'm in a band called Rahul Rao and the Lights. You should follow us on Instagram. We really need those follows. That'd be really helpful. We just performed last week over here, you know, just saying, we're out here doing big things. Okay. All right. Shout out to you, Emily. Love you, dog. Okay. Growing up with 2 holidays was normal for me. I didn't think anything of it. It had benefits that I was aware of even as a child. Twice as much attention, twice as many presents. Even if those presents had to stay at 2 different houses. Crossover was not allowed. Or maybe it was not encouraged. I'm not sure which. I just know there wasn't much crossover. My parents separated before I was able to form memories. I never knew it any other way, which I think made it easier compared to my friends' experiences with their parents separating when we were older. On the first day of 7th grade, one friend took me aside in a very serious manner. I don't think we had seen each other all summer. She told me that she needed my advice because her parents were separating and she was having trouble dealing with it. I wish I could remember now how I felt or what I said, but whatever it was must have been good because we became best friends and remained that way for a long time. I think this is what they call trauma bonding now, but I also think that's mostly what a lot of friendships come down to. When I was a kid, having to go from one house to another on the holidays never bothered me. Although, maybe it bothered my dad. He was the one who had to drive me. Who knows? Maybe he liked the opportunity to get out of the house. Maybe I'll ask him about it one day. Hey, Dad, how did you feel about carting me around all the time? Did that annoy you? I will encourage him to be honest with me. I can take it. I'm not 7 anymore. I wonder if it was in my parents' legal custody arrangements that my dad had to be the one always to pick me up and drop me off. I don't once remember my mom driving me to his house or coming to pick me up there. I'll add that to the list of things I can ask my parents about now that I'm an adult. The separate houses on holidays only became an issue as I got older and boyfriends were introduced into the mix, because that was a whole other family that had to be scheduled in. Here's an outline of the worst one. I was in college when this happened. Point 1, I lived with my family in spring, who were not my parents, so I started out on Christmas Eve there, because that's where I lived. Point 2, then I drove out to my boyfriend's family's house in Magnolia for dinner. That's when it started snowing. Point 3, after dinner, I drove in the snow from Magnolia to Katy, where my dad and my stepfamily lived. I spent the night there. Point 4, we woke up and had Christmas morning together. Then I drove to my mom's house in Alief. Point 5, sometime in the afternoon, I made the drive back to my home in spring to have Christmas with that family. 5 points. In less than 24 hours, I looked it up on Google Maps. It's roughly 130 miles. That's the first time I remember it feeling like work. Which is saying something, actually. I was already an adult. Kudos to my parents for divorcing so early that I didn't have anything to compare it to. I'm truly grateful I wasn't traumatized by witnessing a brutal breakup of the 2 people that I loved most in the world. From what I have gathered, they didn't really like each other that much, and I'm glad I don't remember them being that way together. I used to work for a corporate coffee shop that is always open on the holidays. You get time and a half, but still. I hate when a customer would come in and remark how sad it was that we had to work that day, on a holiday. I remember thinking, they must be so dumb. What was it like to be so unself-aware, to be so lacking in social graces? But we did have one customer who would tip everyone $100 each on holidays, so it wasn't all bad. I still work on holidays now, but not in a coffee shop. I take care of animals for a living, so holidays are a big business time of year for me. Shouts out to Paw and Order. Now, I am reflecting on why it seems I always work on holidays. Is there a correlation to my youth? Holidays were never a time for rest. They were a time to get one thing done, travel to a different location, and get the other thing done. That's kind of what work is like, right? Was I conditioned from an early age to work on holidays? One Thanksgiving, in my mid-20s, I had an afternoon family thing, then hosted Friendsgiving in the evening. That was the only year that Friendsgiving was on an actual day. Every other year after that, we did it the Friday or Saturday afterwards, because it was, in fact, a hell of a lot of work. But this year, it was the day of. Everything was over, and I was so exhausted, and everyone else had left to walk to the bar. I was lying on the couch under a blanket, fighting to stay awake. One small group of friends who hadn't been able to make it earlier asked if they could stop by. I said they could, after making very sure that they knew that everyone else was gone, and I was practically a zombie. They came over, the three of them, and ate some pie and chatted for a while. One of them, his name was Elliot, asked me why I thought I was still single. I had been on a years-long single bender at this point, dating casually but no relationships, although I was tiring of that and he knew it. I wonder, are y'all laughing at me for saying those things because I feel real? Okay, all right. I had been on a years-long single bender at this point, don't laugh at that. Dating casually but no relationships, although I was tiring of that and he knew it. He could be a real ass, but he had a soft spot for me, I think. I thought asking the question was rude, but I was also amused. He told me that I was looking for love in all the wrong places. Like, he literally said those words. And that I should start talking to cute guys I saw at the grocery store or Barnes & Noble. I looked over his brother, who was sitting on the opposite couch, and who I was currently casually sleeping with. I don't know if he had told his brother this, and I wasn't about to bring it up. Anyways, I told Elliot that I would take that under advisement, and they all left soon after. And I finished up that Thanksgiving alone, falling asleep on the couch, but also not working. So, that's something. Thank you.